All are now filled with energy and enthusiasm for the second lecture of the day.
So without further ado, we'll be resuming our session. The next section will be taken by a speaker, Mr. Rajkumar K. Rajkumar K is a technically sound IT professional with 6+ years of experience, currently working as a technical lead at CTS Tech Healthcare India Private Limited, Chennai.
Mr. Rajkumar has rich knowledge and experience in full stack development, and he specialized in technologies like Angular, Java, SQL, Ionic, AI, ML, data science, etc. Apart from his professional career, Rajkumar is a well known public speaker and he has taken part in many offline and online events in various organizations.
He has shared his ideas over many technical topics like web development, mobile app development, AI and ML, data science, blockchain, cloud computing, and a lot of other technical topics. Recently, he mentored around 40 students at Karpaga Vinayaga College of Engineering and Technology, and 20 of them got placed already at various MNCs like Tech Mahindra, Infosys, and Wipro, and the count is going on. I would like to welcome Mr. Rajkumar K for his next session. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thank you all. So, hope you had a good lunch. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
hopefully, no one will sleep, right?
No, sir.
Because I have a bad habit of sleeping at important times during my meetings. Because I know how painful it is on sitting the weekends. But yes, we need to do this, right? All right. So now you guys might have got an idea about what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, everything, right? So let me take this time to explain few stuffs like what is this mobile app development, how you can able to create a mobile app development, what are the prerequisites for creating a mobile app development. So these kind of stuffs we're going to see today, right? And once we are done with the theoretical discussions, we'll move on to the demo things. Okay, so first the prerequisites. Okay, so in the knowledge level, first thing, whether you are aware of what is mobile app development, and the second, whether you are aware of what are the various types of app development. And the third thing, which mode of app creation you are going to adopt. And the fourth one, if it is unique, whether do you have enough knowledge on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these four questions we should ask ourselves. And in the infra level, first, do you have Node.js installed in your machine? Do you have Visual Studio Code installed in your machine? And the third one is, do you have Android Studio installed in your machine? Okay, so these are the basic stuffs needed for creating any mobile application, irrespective of AI or any business applications or whatever. So these are all stuff, some basic stuffs you need to take care of. So what do you think about these stuffs? Are you feeling comfortable in all these questions?
So once again, can you show?
Sorry.
No, sir, nothing, sir, nothing.
So how many of you have 7 years with you?
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
So, like I don't have ideas on CSS and JavaScript. I know HTML a little bit. So, is it
Mhm.
okay with me to continue? Like, can I continue with this?
Of course, you can continue with this. But anyways, I'm going to show you various CSS properties, and CSS is just if you have the good English knowledge, then it's enough to learn CSS. That's what I can say.
Okay, sir.
For example, if you want to color this page, okay, so I'm just telling for an example. You want to color the text in a red color. So the CSS properties would be color colon red. And you want to have the background as blue, let's say, then you will be giving. Is it looking difficult?
No.
No, sir.
Can you also use a BG color instead of typing background fully?
See, this background is actually a shorthand property. Using this background property, you can give various properties: background color, background size, background repeat, all the properties you can give within this background itself. Okay. You need not to
Okay.
use a BG color only. You can always go with the shorthand properties also. I'll teach you all those stuffs. Don't worry. Because before you are implementing this hi-fi technologies like this artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, whatever, we must be aware of how to make a basic application. Right. So as I told in the morning itself, we have to be strong enough in the base, because learning the advanced concepts is an just piece of cake. You can even learn those things in YouTube videos or something, but if you are not clear with your basics, then you cannot able to proceed further, right? Fine. So how many 7 years here?
Sir, can you post the link for Android Studio download?
Yep. You just Google it. Nothing much to do. This one.
So is it developers dot Android something like that?
Yes, yes. This is the one.
Okay, sir.
Mm, I think chat is disabled here. You just Google it. Okay. So just Google Android Studio. You can get the first link. Okay. Fine. Anyways, for today, you don't need Android Studio.
அவங்கள பார்த்து டிசைட் பண்ண சொல்லு. ஒண்ணுமே இல்லை.
Sir, Kumar Samesh,
Sir,
sir,
now,
could you please
sir,
go on
now,
it?
sir, now you can check, sir, that chat.
Yeah, okay.
Now it is there, sir.
Uh,
Chat.
அன்னைக்கு
no,
போன்
I,
வரணும்.
I cannot able to do. That's okay, sir. No problems. Maybe I can share this link with you. You can probably share it with the students.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's not a big deal. So, anyways, you're not going to use Android Studio today. Okay,
Oh, oh.
fine. So here, what you need to understand is what is Node.js. Node.js, it is going to provide libraries. Okay, it is going to provide libraries for app development, you can say. And what this Visual Studio Code is going to do, this is the IDE where you are going to code and run. And what about this Android Studio? Here you are going to build the app which can run in your real device. So first we should learn these two things, and then we can step into the third step. Okay. So even if you don't have Android Studio, don't panic. So make sure you are good with all the first 6 points. Right.
Mm.
So here everyone can say yes, right?
Yes, sir.
What does mean by mobile app? And the types, what are the types we have seen in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What are the types?
Native, hybrid, and cross platform.
Very good. Native, hybrid, and cross-platform. So you are all aware of it. So do you want me to explain more on these three things, or you are okay with that?
Please explain, sir.
All right. So let me explain once again. That's not a problem. So every operating system has been created on a unique programming language, right? So for example, if you take Android Studio, sorry, Android operating system, this Android operating system is made up of Java programming, right? And if you take iOS, iPhone operating system, that iOS is made up of Objective C. There is a language called Objective C, which is derived from C and C++ programming. So in Apple, they are making this operating system with the help of Objective C. So if you are having BlackBerry OS, okay, so BlackBerry OS is made up of again with Java. And when you take Windows mobile operating system, so it is made up of C++ and Visual C++. So if you want to create a mobile application which should work in a particular platform, that has to be built on the same technology it is. Okay, so same technology of the operating system, then only it can work in that platform. So for example, if I'm asking you to write a C program in a Java console, can you do that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Because in a Java editor, you can run only Java program. So if you want to run a C program, then you need a C program editor or C compiler. Correct. So that is going to be the native application. Anyways, just give me 1 minute. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you're now confident about what is native, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For example, if I want to create a mobile application for Android, I should use only Java coding. I cannot write the HTML coding, or I cannot write C programming coding, everything in a native mobile app for Java, right? Then we are coming to the hybrid. So generally, where do you come across the word hybrid in your daily life?
Sir, it seems like something more advanced and developed.
Combined.
Yeah. So hybrid means combined. For example, we will be coming across hybrid seeds for some plants, right? So if you take a mango, there are varieties of mango which can be created artificially, right? So by just combining two stems of two plants, you can make a new plant. That is possible. So we have come across the crossbreed of dogs, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is something like that. So here in hybrid, what we are going to make, we have some application which runs in every platforms in the world. What is that? Which application can run in every platforms of the world? Let me give you some options. Maybe
Web
that would be
apps.
easy for you.
Web.
Sorry.
Web.
Web apps.
Very good. Exactly. So web applications alone can run in every operating systems. Correct. If I am having a website or if I'm having a web application, I can just open the browser, I can type the URL, then I can readily see the output, irrespective of any platform. It can be Android or it can be Windows or it can be Mac, iOS, Ubuntu, whatever maybe. Right. So similar strategy we are going to use here. Right. So we are not going to bother much with the new programming language or any strict programming language. We are going to create some web components, and these web components can able to run in any platform. So ultimately what we are going to do, we are going to build this web component as a mobile application. That means it is not going to be the real natural mobile app, but it is going to do every operations of a mobile application. You got it. So it is somewhat like having a dupe for a hero in any stunt scenes, right?
Okay, sir.
And the third one is the cross platform. So before going cross platform, let me add a few more points about hybrid. I can make this web components, I can make beautiful designs, those are fine. But if I want to interact with the hardware or software of the mobile phone, is that really possible just with the web components? Means it is not possible with web components alone. Okay, so just with some HTML tags, if I want to read the mobile contacts of you, is that possible?
No, sir.
If I, if I
No,
want to
sir.
access your camera or if I want to access any hardware of your device just with some HTML tags, that is definitely not possible. Right. So what can we do for that? That's where we are using something called as plugin. What do you mean by plugin?
The additional units for the native code.
Okay. What does that word exactly mean? Plugin.
Sir, we are adding something extra so that to increase the functionality.
Yeah. But,
Sir, it's a
to be more
software which
precise,
adds a
a
feature
plugin.
to the program.
Yeah. So I can say like a plugin is a predefined or ready to use component. It is somewhat like you are going to a shop, buying a bulb. Once you fix that bulb and once you plugged in, you can readily get the light. If you are buying any electronic component, so you no need to configure everything, right? It's not like buying some raw materials and connecting all together and making your own product. It is not like that. You are purchasing some ready-made product and that ready-made product will be ready to use. Just unuse it. That's nothing but the plugin. Similarly, we have lot of plugins in Ionic. Okay, so what this plugin will actually do? So what language the plugins are made up of? The plugins are actually made up of all the operating system languages. For example, if I am calling a camera plugin, let's say, if I'm calling a camera plugin, that camera plugin will be having some folders, some platform folder. Inside the platform folder, you can able to see the Java coding, you can able to see the Objective-C coding as well, and you can able to see all other supporting platforms. What you're going to do is you're just going to call that plugin from your
Sir,
code. Yeah.
sir, your slide is not changing. Check it
I think
still
I'm
on
not in
do.
the slide. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, sir. I was saying that your slide was not changing. It
No, no,
is still
I'm no,
yes,
no,
sir.
I'm just in this notepad only. So I'm just giving some theoretical knowledge only. I'm not showing anything in the slide actually.
Sorry, sir.
Maybe if you want to see, I can able to show you. Maybe wait a minute.
Okay, sir. I understood.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So for example, let's say I'm going to have this camera plugin. Let's say. So what you're actually going to do is You're just going to copy some codes and you're going to paste it in your working directory. Okay, you're going to paste these code in your working directory, and then what you're going to do, you're going to customize it based on your convenient. But what will happen inside? It will be having the platform codes, whether it is made up of Java um, or Objective C or Python, whatever. But here they given the supporting platforms: Android, browser platform, iOS, and Windows. So these four platforms this will support. You got it. So we are
Yes.
going to install this plugin. We are going to copy some codes. We are going to customize the code which is already available in the market. Then your mobile will do the rest. How the mobile will do the rest? The the app will actually detect which platform it is actually installed. If the app is found to be installed in a browser, then it will run through that browser coding. It can be JavaScript coding. If the app is running in an Android device, then it will automatically targeting to the Java code which is already available, and it will go on other platforms also. So can you understand how a plugin is working here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So imagine a mobile application without any of these plugins. It will simply look like a website which is being just built like a mobile app. So a lot of people will be building their static websites like mobile app, and they will be releasing in Play Store. Okay, but if you want to interact with your mobile app in real time, and if you really want to get the ultimate experience which you are getting in the native application itself, you need plugins. But all these plugins, I mean almost all of the plugins are available in the Ionic website itself, Ionic official documentation itself. For example, I can show you some things. So like if I want to integrate PayPal, okay, so let's say I'm making a e-commerce application and I want to incorporate PayPal in my application. For that also we have this plugins already available. So you can get a look on this link actually. Maybe I don't know whether the link chat is enabled. So chat is not enabled. But anyways, so you can get through this plugins which are already available. So you can able to check the battery status. You can able to check the network status. You can able to check whatever you want to check. Okay. So all the plugins are already available and you can just readily use those plugins. Okay. Fine. So now let's move on to the cross platform part. So we have native, we have hybrid. Then why should I go for a cross platform? Is a cross platform is again a new programming language you are going to choose. For example, there is a cross platform called as Flutter. Okay. So I don't know whether you might have heard about this framework before. There is something called as Flutter, where you can able to make mobile applications. Okay. But while if you want to make a mobile application using Flutter, then you have to learn a new programming language called as Dart programming language. Okay, DART, Dart programming language. So what this Dart programming language will actually do, it will look like Java programming only. Okay, so it almost have all the Java functionalities, but the syntax is somewhat different. So once I'm building this Flutter application, I cannot reuse the 100% complete code for both the platforms. Okay, I cannot use the 100% code for both the platforms. I need to customize. For Android, the code should work like this. For iOS, the code should work like this. So I should manually do the coding, okay, for both the platforms. But the most advanced thing or the main advantage of this cross platform is cross platform can work faster than hybrid. Can you summarize why hybrid is slower, or can you think through it?
Sure, because it searches first which machine it is running, then it has to go to that folder and execute the file which contains the framework for that particular operating system or something.
Exactly.
It's like
So
SNMP.
sorry.
Like SNMP works.
Yeah. So hybrid is the hybrid applications are not real mobile applications, but it can do all the works of a real application. For example, uh, let me just tell for some fun. Assume I am having a beautiful voice like Arjit Singh. Okay, so if I'm singing some Hindi songs which is exactly in his voice, can you give the same respect to me and him? Can you treat both of us in a single plate?
No,
No, sir.
sir.
So this
No,
is
sir.
somewhat like that. The hybrid application can do all the things which can be done with the native apps and this cross platform, but you cannot treat both the things in the same manner. So being a programmer or being a developer, what you should do, you have to make a decision for what type of application I'm going to use this. Let's assume you are an Ionic developer and you are going to make a game like PUBG. Whether it will be a beautiful experience or dreadful experience.
Dreadful.
Right. Rightful.
Of course. So it will be a
Dreadful.
dreadful experience. Why? Because as I told already, the framework is not as faster as the. So we are first interacting with the web component, and then the web component only will go to interact with the operating system. But if you are creating a native component, you can directly interact with the operating system. So that's why the delay is happening. Can you understand?
Yes, sir.
But if I want to create a beautiful application, for example, let me take WhatsApp even. So WhatsApp or Instagram. So these kind of applications, if I'm creating, then this Ionic will be a beautiful experience for you because you can able to create whatever you want. See, I want to have a logo. I want to have an icon. Okay, just create an icon. Okay, in Photoshop or anything, you can just call that icon in. You can readily use it. Okay, so if you want to have any beautiful font which is available in the market, which is being used in any browsers, you can just import the TTF file. You can just install that font in your machine and you can use it. So using all these web components are very easier. So you can load beautiful loaders. You can just impress the people with the most impressive UI you have ever seen. So maybe if you guys are good at HTML, CSS, you might be gone through Bootstrap also, right? Have
Yes, sir.
anyone
Yes, sir.
having idea about Bootstrap?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So through Bootstrap, you can able to make beautiful websites, right? So Ionic has inbuilt Bootstrap in it. Okay, Ionic has inbuilt Bootstrap in it. Ionic is having its own CSS framework. Okay, so what will happen? You can readily make a beautiful design. Okay, you got it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
Yes, sir.
let me just quickly share. Why should I choose Ionic? Okay, the first thing, Ionic is following a framework called as Angular. Have anyone heard about Angular?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think so. Actually, Angular is nothing but a framework which is made on JavaScript. Okay, so a basic JavaScript Angular is considered as a superset of JavaScript, or TypeScript is considered as the superset of JavaScript, and Angular is made up of this TypeScript. Okay, so Angular is now owned by Google. So Angular is now owned by Google, and I'm getting 15 lakhs per annum. The change happened in just 5 years, only because I was into this Angular, and I am into Angular now. Okay, so it is made of Angular. So if you are learning Angular, if you are learning Ionic, then it will be a two-time benefits for you. You can become a mobile app developer or you can become a web developer. Okay, so you can become a complete front end developer if you are learning this Angular. And Angular is providing all these supports to you, all these plugins, all advanced features Angular is providing to you. So they are working every day and night to produce new updates. So you will be in touch with the technology. That is one major important thing. And the plugins I told, right? So the plugins are powered by Cordova. Okay, so Cordova is another organization. So Apache Cordova we used to call it as. So it is owned by Apache. So Cordova is providing all these plugins. Okay, again the plugins are very rich. Okay, they are very rich in coding. So you can just readily use all those plugins, and it will be very easy to understand as well. And as we are into this Angular, you will be following all the object oriented concepts. So as a student you should be come across object oriented concepts, right? This inheritance, polymorphism, everything. So Angular is following all the object oriented concepts. That means the codes can be reused in a big time. Okay, so I'm going to give you some keywords. You're going to learn all those keywords. Okay, so those keywords will tell you how efficiently you can able to use Angular. And the testing will be easy. So Angular is coming up with Karma Jasmine testing. Okay, so those are some testing tools, automation testing tools available. You can simply write a script and that script will do the magic for you. And as I told before, you can make all these impressive UI designs. Okay, the UI designs you can make it more impressive just with this cool HTML CSS tags. You can able to make all these beautiful designs. And Ionic is having its own forum. Okay, so Ionic forum is there. So you can connect with a lot of Ionic developers. You can connect with a lot of Ionic developers through Ionic forum or Stack Overflow kind of things. So people will be readily clarifying your doubts. Even when I was into completely into Ionic, I used to write a lot of blogs in Stack Overflow, but very easily because I learned Ionic only within single night. That much easy technology it is. Okay, and of course one app for multiple operating systems. So these are the reasons why I should go for Ionic. Okay, any doubts as of now?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No,
No.
sir.
All right. So how this Ionic application is working? Okay, so we have this the central layer HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are going to be the central layer. Here, Ionic. Ionic is
Sir,
a
one doubt.
framework. Yep.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
HTML
Tell me.
and JS is used to create a web page, and
Yeah.
for mobile application, Android Studio is used. Sir, how come there is connection?
Yeah, I will tell you. I'm going to tell that one only. Okay. So generally, if you are making any application which is running on internet, you have to come across two terminologies: front end and back end, right? So anyone tell me what is mean by front end, what is mean by back end?
So backend which performs an basic operation like input of data and processing of data, whereas
Okay.
front end is just the displacement of data.
Okay.
Front end
Good.
is where the user interacts, and back end is whatever is going in the background, which the user cannot see.
Good.
We can say that front end is
So
like the UI and back end is where all the processing happens.
yeah, exactly. So you're right. Front end is nothing but what user sees and what user operates. Okay. What user sees and what user operates. That is nothing but front end. Whereas back end is what business logic I have. You can able to being a front end developer, you can able to fix where should be the login button, where should be the logout button, where should be the logo placed, everything you can able to decide. Till clicking the button, the application is completely under the control of front end. Okay, once the button is clicked or once any event is triggered, event in this putting mouse on something, double tapping, pressing and holding, all these things are events, right? So once an event is triggered, then the server will be getting called from the client machine. Okay, the server, that means the backend coding will be stored in the server, and we will be initiating a request to the server. Hey, this guy is trying to log in, and these are the login credentials this guy put. Please check in the database whether these credentials are available, and if valid, please let me know. This will be the request that will go to the server. Then server receives it. Server will check the credentials in the database, and if the data is available, then server will respond to the client. Hey, I checked. He is an authenticated user. You can let him in. These are the details about him. The name is Rajkumar. The company is CTS Tech, and yeah, the role is tech lead. His date of birth is this. His mobile number is this. So all these response will come from the server, and once the request is processed, and the server response will be checked in the front end, and if the front end sees the server response is yes, then it will allow the user to go to the next screen. Okay, else it will stop and it will tell the user, it will warn the user, hey, you are using incorrect email id or password, please put in the right thing. Okay, so all these validations can be made in the front end. So front end is not just showing, front end has its own validations. Front end is the decision maker, what information must be shared with the server, and backend is the ultimate decision maker who should decide what to do with the data. You got it? So here the Android Studio is not just a coding platform. You can write your coding in Android Studio, but we are now going to use Android Studio only to build the application, not to develop the application. Okay, because Android Studio will be coming up with its own Java knowledge. Okay, Android Studio knows Java, Android Studio knows Kotlin, but for Android Studio, this HTML CSS is completely new. Android Studio is not aware of HTML CSS. If I'm asking a commerce student to take a class on any aromatic alcohol, can he able to take it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
So
sir.
Android Studio is not aware of HTML CSS, so I am not going to disturb Android Studio. I have a beautiful tool which is made up of Microsoft called as Visual Studio Code, which has all the knowledge about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So better I can go with this Visual Studio Code, which is very lightweight, just 85 MB. You can download easily and you can install in any machine. But for packaging the application, what do you mean by this packaging is, I have 1,000 files in my application. Okay, so I have login file, I have a dashboard file, I have home screen file, I have FAQ file, and I have a lot of images, I have a lot of icons, I have a lot of font. So lot of files I have. But when you are going to Play Store and when you are trying to install an application, can you go and install every file separately?
No, sir.
No, no,
No,
sir.
No, sir.
that that would be really painful. So what you want to do, you want to check, you want to search WhatsApp, then there will be a screen coming saying that WhatsApp Messenger, and there will be a button called install. Once you click that button, the application will be running in your device. You don't know what is happening in the background. Actually, what will happen? I will be having a trekking bag, let's say. I will be having all the things, my dresses, my gadgets, or what are the first aid kit? What are the things I want to take it for my trekking? I will be packing everything in my trekking bag. Then I will close the bag. I will take it to the place where I want to make my halt for 2 or 3 days. I'll be making my tent. Then inside the tent, I will be opening my bag. I will take out all the stuffs and then I can use that. So if you want to travel from one place to another place, And if you have 100 products in your hand, it is not easy to carry all the 100 products in your hand itself. So what you should do, you have to carry a bag, and that bag will be having all these stuffs. You can able to compress all the things inside the bag. Okay, so I used to take my laptop for even 4 days or 5 days trip. My laptop bag can able to hold all these stuffs. I will be compressing my dresses and I can able to store more dresses on my bag. Similarly, we are going to make a single bag. That single bag is called as APK file. And inside that APK file, you are going to compress all the program files you have created, and you are going to lock those files inside that APK file. Then this APK file will be posted in the Play Store. And as a end user, I can able to download this. Once it is downloaded, the package will be opened inside my phone, and then it will find a place to stay and it will be working in my machine. That's how it is working, and that's why we need Android Studio. But why should I need Android Studio to pack this? Means only the Android Studio knows how to pack the things. Okay, so there is a big difference between you packing your bag and your mom is packing your bag, right? Will both
Yes,
of you
sir.
do in the same manner?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
There is a big difference between you are making a biryani and your mom is making a biryani, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
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 sir.
So
sir.
Android Studio knows how to make this build carefully, how to make this build to work in a correct way. Not Android Studio. To if I want to be more exact, there is something called as Gradle. Okay, there will be something called as Gradle, and this Gradle is responsible for making your build. So that is called as a build tool. You got it? So can you understand why Android Studio is being used here, even though we are not coding in Android Studio?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me come to this
Yes, sir.
screen. In this screen, we have some components. So the central layer, as I said before, the central layer is made up of this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So they are going to be the masters. These three are going to control everything. So what is Ionic? Ionic is a HTML and CSS framework, which is going to help you with what are the elements you are going to show. Okay, so Ionic is going to tell you how should the application look like, and Angular is going to tell you what functionality I'm going to do with this button or with this input or whatever. So for example, with the help of Ionic, you can have a beautiful input field, and with the help of Angular, you can able to send this input value to the server. Okay, so Ionic is completely the view layer and Angular is completely the logic layer. You got it?
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Sir, what is the difference between normal JavaScript and Angular.js? Because if you want, we can give functionalities using just normal JS itself. Huh?
Okay. So what is the difference between ordering a biryani in a hotel and making your own biryani?
Sir, making our own, we have to start from scratch, like boil rice and do all the process.
I
Ordering,
think
we
you got
can
the
just
answer.
eat. Yes, sir.
Okay. Means if you want to write a code in JavaScript and the code line goes 10 to 15, I can able to make the similar functionality in Angular with just 3 lines or 4 lines. But how does it work is internally Angular code is going to convert into native JavaScript only. But that is internally happening, and being a developer, you don't want to take all the headaches in your head. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then we have something called as Apache Cordova here. What do you mean by this Apache Cordova is, as I told before, he is the plugin supplier, I can tell. Okay, so he is a kind of a broker or middleman who will be supplying you what are the plugins you need. Hey, I need a plugin for reading the contacts. Yes, you can take. I need a plugin to watch the messages. So watching the messages, this is one of the most important and interesting functionality. So if you guys want to learn hacking, if you guys want to read the SMS which is received from your friend, I can tell you one secret. Anybody want to know that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So we will be having an interesting functionality in most of the mobile apps, that is auto read SMS, right? So once the SMS is received, OTP SMS is received, the OTP will be automatically printed into that input bar. You no need to do anything. You have to simply sit and relax. Everything else will be done by your mobile app itself, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
For
Yes, sir.
that, we are using some plugin. That plugin can able to read SMS. Okay, so I'm telling you, you create one application. Okay, so there are a lot of WhatsApp status downloader application you have seen, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you know
Yes,
how
sir.
this status downloader is working?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we watch a status on WhatsApp, then it is saved in our local drives.
Correct.
Then these type of application use that video to show us on, and from there we can download it.
Exactly. So that video is already there in your mobile, but it will be in a hidden folder. If you go to your file manager, open WhatsApp, open media, and inside the media, you will be having a hidden folder called dot statuses. So what are the status you loaded already? Those status will be available in this um, a temporary folder. So that temporary folder will delete the file which is already created before 24 hours.
hours.
That will be happening automatically. So if you want to make that video permanent in your device, just copy that file and paste it somewhere else. That's it. You don't need to do anything. Just copy the file, paste it somewhere. You don't need a soft status downloader application to download any status. So just I'm telling for fun, you create one application. You say your friend that, hey, I made a WhatsApp status downloader. You install this in your machine. He can install it. And after installing, when he opens the application, it will be asking, Rajkumar app wants to read your SMS. So he will be asking you, hey, it is asking me to read my SMS. You tell them, hey, just it is for your OTP detection. Just give yes. Then you will be giving yes. That's it. Then your app will be always awake and it will always read what are the SMS coming into you. Similar to this true caller you have used. So whenever you are receiving an SMS, your true caller is immediately coming up, right? Any transaction made or any OTP comes in, your true caller will tell you this is the OTP number. Similarly, my app will be spying your mobile. Okay, my app will be spying your mobile, and whenever you get an SMS, that SMS will immediately trigger to my laptop. Okay, because I will be connecting my laptop as a server computer. Then I can able to read your SMS and I can able to do anything with you. For making this app, do you think do you know how much time you will require? Any approximate guesses?
Half an hour.
One
Yeah, maybe 10
an
minutes to
hour.
15 minutes.
Why?
That's it.
1 minute.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, maybe if you are a great expert and you are having the really high configuration computer, you can able to make in 1 minute, because the build time itself takes 5 minutes. That's why I told 15 minutes. Installing this plugin, everything, it will take its own time. All right. But if you are having a great internet connection with the really high configuration system, it is of 1 minute, as you said. Right. So what what we should understand is there are features available in the market. Only your thought process decides whether you are a programmer or hacker. Am I right? So by
Yes.
learning this coding,
yes,
you
sir.
can become a programmer or you can become a hacker. That's up to you. You are the person who is going to decide. You are in the driver's seat. Right. So can you understand how these things are, how till Apache Cordova, how this is working? You are understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And till this process, you don't need Android Studio. But the final step for building this application, Why should I build this application? Ionic has a beautiful environment where you can run your Ionic application in your browser itself. You don't need to go to any real device or emulator kind of things. You can readily code your things and you can see in the browser itself how it is working, because you are using web components, right? But if I want to run this application in a real device, okay, I want to do this in a real device, that time you will be in need of the build tool, which is powered by any platform. Anyone of you are using MacBook here? Mac systems, anyone are using?
Yes, I am using a Mac.
So if you are using Mac, there is something called as Xcode. Do you have Xcode in your machine?
Yes, I have.
So if you have Xcode, then you can able to build your IPA file also. So as you are having your Mac, then you must be having your iPhone also, right?
No, sir, I'm not using an
Oh,
iPhone.
you're using Android only. Then you can able to make a simulator in your Xcode itself. You can able to run your application there.
Okay, sir.
So both the things are possible. But and being a Mac user, you have an advantage. You can able to make both Android build and iOS build in your Mac itself. But being a poor and Windows users, we are all allowed to make build for Android alone. We cannot able to make a build for iOS. Okay, fine. So this screen
Yes.
is comfortable for everyone, right? Any doubts as of now?
No, sir.
Sir, I have one doubt.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Please go ahead.
Sir, you as you told that we need Android Studio as a packing up device to
Yeah,
pack thousands of files to set up to make a APK file to
yeah,
set it up on Play Store. Like
correct.
sir, when I previously learned Java, I used NetBeans, so
Mm,
it was both front end and back end. It was doing the job. Okay,
mm.
so how we will upload it to the internet? The like
Means you're asking about how to deploy my application in Play Store. Is that what you're asking?
yes, sir.
See, once you make APK, see, if you are making an APK, there is something called as debug build and production build. By default, we will be making the debugging build. So what do you mean by debugging?
Cleaning out errors
I
and
don't.
other things.
Okay. So debugging is just a testing, you can say. Okay. So you're going to test that application in your real device, and you can able to make the production build also. So what is the big difference between the debugging build and production build is debugging build will be larger in size and production build will be smaller in size. Do you know why? Any predictions? No idea.
So
No,
maybe there are more than one way to correct that file.
So to answer the question, there is something called as Google Play Console. Okay. So if you are an Android developer, okay, if you are an Android developer, you have to create an account in this Google Developer Console. Okay. So in this Google Developer Console, you have to pay money, $25 for a user. Okay. So I'm just creating a company. Let's say I have created a company called RK. For this RK company, I will be creating one Google Developer account. The worth is $25, and the lifetime is uh, you can use it forever. Okay, you can you can upload even 1,000 applications. You can even upload lakhs of applications. Okay, in the same developer account. But if you want to have a developer account in Apple, that is $99 and the validity is 1 year. For every 1 year, you have to pay $99. Okay. As Android is providing just for $25, everyone are coming up and everyone are launching their applications in Play Store. And that is why Play Store is having a lot of applications which are having bugs and viruses also. You got it? For deploying your applications,
Yes.
you have to log into the Google Play Console, and inside the Google Play Console, you can able to upload your production build. So now let me tell you what is the difference between a debug build and a production build. A debug build is an uncompressed file. Okay, it is an uncompressed file, and it will be having all the unused libraries you are having in your code. So maybe let's assume you will be downloading a plugin for Google Maps, but you never used that Google Maps anywhere in your application. So now this Google Maps plugin is unused here, right? But you forgot to remove that plugin from your code, but you are not using it anywhere. While you are making your debugging build, this unused plugins also will take some space in your app. But when you are making the production build, all the unused codes will be removed. All the accessing white spaces will be removed. White space in the sense, if you are giving uh, a space between the variable name and the operator symbol, int a equal to 10, I can write this int a equal to 10 in both the ways. Okay, I can show you. I can write it like int a equal to 10, and I can also write int a is equal to 10. Will both the lines do the same work or different work?
Same work.
Same.
But these two extra spaces can take some extra memory, maybe some 1 byte or 2 byte. But if you think just 1 byte is not going to make any difference, assume your application is having 1 lakh white spaces. That means 1 lakh bytes. And that means it is around some 10 MB. So you can able to save 10 MB, right? So it is useful or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So that's how the production build is made. So it will uglify the code. Uglify in the sense it will remove all the white spaces. You cannot able to read your code properly. For example, if I'm having a code like so this is my code. After the uglification, the code will be converted like this. Can you understand the importance of uglifying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
this 3 lines can be read very faster, but this line will take more attention because this is not beautified, right? All right. So for making your application to live, you need a Google Play Console developer account. Then only you can able to make it possible, right? And so as of now, you are comfortable with all these stuffs, right? Any other queries?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So let me proceed. So these are all some disadvantages in Ionic framework, but most of the disadvantages are already overcame. All those stuffs are overdone already, but still, we just want to know what are the disadvantages were initially there. The performance, as I told before, you cannot expect the similar performance of a native application. Okay, so if you're making PUBG game through Ionic, then the shooting experience will be looking like a Tamil cinema climax or any Indian cinema climax. Hero shoots, the bullet will take at least 10 to 15 seconds to reach the villain. So before that, villain can go and finish his dinner, everything, and then villain can come back and then he can shot by the bullet. That's how it would be. Imagine your experience playing PUBG, which is made of Ionic. How it would be.
Very laggy and
Not
stuff.
good. Very.
Not good,
Pathetic.
sir.
We are not even accepting a 0.1 second lag. We are complaining PUBG.
Yep.
But if you are making PUBG kind of games with Ionic, then definitely you will suffer a lot. But if you are making an application for any bank transaction or in instant messenger like WhatsApp or any project management applications, let's say maybe Google this Google Meet kind of things, there you can find the Ionic is efficient. Okay. And initially Ionic had some security issues because as it is made of web components, most of the websites are being hacked easily, right? So Ionic had a lot of security issues, but once Angular got a lot of updates, these security issues are overridden already. Okay, and limited native functionality. Of course, you cannot expect everything to work like a native. So the native functionalities will be somewhat limited, and you need a plugin for every native functionalities. Okay, so that would be some irritating experience. For example, if I need only some 4 or 5 plugins, that is fine. But if your application needs 100 to 200 plugins, then imagine how sad part it would be for a developer or for the end user. For installing all the plugins itself, the application will take 10 to 15 minutes. So after clicking the app icon, you should wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get started with the login itself. Okay, and we are going to use new technology Angular. So you need some specialists to help you. Okay, in technical way, you need some specialists. So these are all some advantages and some disadvantages and the working procedure of Ionic, right? So yes, with this I'm concluding the slide part. Now let us go to how to install Ionic. So before installing Ionic, we have to know which version of Ionic we are using now. Ionic is running its version 6. Actually, it started in 2013. Ionic version 1 has been started in 2013 and it used Angular JS version 1. So what is the difference between Angular JS and Angular? This is what you need to know. Angular JS is made up of completely JavaScript, whereas Angular is made up of completely TypeScript. Then the other question would be, what is meant by TypeScript? TypeScript is a language, is a framework which is made by Microsoft. It will look exactly like JavaScript. So you guys watched how JavaScript would be, right? Let me just show you some code in JavaScript. Just I'm showing one JavaScript code. The JavaScript code would be like this. Okay. So if you guys are from Java background or .NET background, this coding strategy is somewhat new to you, right? Right. The
Yes,
code
sir.
will be looking like Java. You can able to use your class, object, constructor, inheritance, extends keyword, interface. All these concepts you can able to use directly in TypeScript, and Angular is made up of TypeScript. So that is the difference between Angular JS and Angular, right? We are going to use Angular, not Angular JS. You're clear with this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And which particular version we are going to learn now is Ionic version 3. Why I'm telling Ionic version 3 is, for a beginner, Ionic 3 is easy to learn because Ionic 4 itself, they started using Angular directly. That means one who is completely confident in Angular, that person only can able to create Ionic applications. And from Ionic 5, they started supporting React.js, Vue.js kind of other frameworks also. So for a beginner, I personally feel that Ionic 3 would be the right version to start your learning. But after that, you can learn Ionic 4, 5, 6, and in future, all other versions will come. So how to install Ionic 3? The URL would be Ionic frameworks, Ionic from framework.com/docs/v3. This is the URL. So I think I cannot able to post this in chat. The chat is still not enabled. So I'll paste this URL here. Just make a note of it. Yeah. Got it?
Sir, I posted in the chat box as well, so for the
Oh,
attendees.
that's great. Thank you. But I cannot even tell. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, if people got it, then it's fine. Okay, so if you open this link, you can able to see the introduction part where you can get to know how to install Ionic. So Ionic is a CLI based framework. Here you need to understand two words. One, what is meant by a framework, and other, what is meant by CLI. So let us start with what is meant by framework. Anyone having idea what is meant by a framework?
So, structure for the basic language or an MVC approach.
Okay.
Sir, it's a specific a frame in which we work, means it's a specific structure in which we work.
Yeah. A framework, you can say like a particular project structure, a predefined structure where you are going to work. That means you are not going to start from zero. You need not to write from line number one. Okay. The structure will be already there. You can just go and customize the structure to make your working project. So Ionic is a framework. Okay, it is not a language, it is a framework. That framework consists of various technologies and all the technologies coming together to form a mobile application. And the second thing, what does mean by CLI? What do you mean by CLI?
It's a command line interface.
Okay. So what would be the opposite of CLI?
GUI, sir.
Very good. So what is the difference between GUI and CLI?
Sir, GUI has
GUI is
all
a
those.
Graphical
oriented,
interface.
GUI is a graphics oriented.
Okay.
Command is
What are
a
the major
coding one.
differences you can feel? So
CLI is backend, GUI is frontend.
it's not like that. Maybe I can tell you this example. GUI is like Windows operating system and CLI is like Ubuntu operating system or Linux operating system. For Linux, you will be using your terminal to write most of the commands. You will be working through commands. But GUI means you will be having buttons. You just click the button. You just do some events. It will work for you. Okay. For example, I will readily show some real time example. I want to open uh, I want to open my command prompt. How can I do that?
Windows
So
run
Windows
CMD.
plus
Go to search bar and type CMD.
Okay. So in command prompt, I'm in C drive. Let's assume I'm navigation navigating to D drive. In I want to create a folder called as VIT. How can I do that?
mkdir.
mkdir.
Directory.
So I can do this in two ways. One, right click, new folder, and I can rename it as VIT. This is one way, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the other
Yes,
way
sir.
is, I'm deleting it. The other way is mkdir, that means make directory, and VIT. You can able to create the VIT folder. So right clicking, giving this new folder and then VIT, that is GUI, whereas this one is CLI. That means through the command line, you are interacting with your system. Thus, through the graphical user interface, you are interacting with the system. You understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty in understanding this?
No, sir.
All right. So in
No,
Ionic,
sir.
everything is done. Everything is going to be done with the commands only. Okay. For installation of Ionic, you need command. For installation of any packages or plugins, you need a command. For building the application, you need a command. Okay. For creating a new page, you need a command. For creating a new service, you need a command. So for doing everything, okay, for doing everything, you need command. So Ionic is completely a command line oriented language or framework. You got it. So if you installed your Node.js, okay, Node.js you will be installing in this link, nodejs.org. Here you can able to download and install this recommended version. 16.13.1 is there, right? You can just download and install this recommended version. Once the recommended version is installed, then you can open your command prompt.
Sir,
You can just check.
sir,
Yes.
sir,
Yeah, tell me.
Node.js full form is Node JavaScript.
Yeah, JS is JavaScript only. Node.js is nothing but it is another framework made of JavaScript.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell in detail about that. So Node.js is one
Excuse me,
of
sir.
the, yeah.
Sir, could
Sir,
you give some examples of a GUI based framework, sir? Because most of frameworks are CLI based. Is there any GUI based framework?
I can readily tell you one example. Okay. Have you ever used Eclipse?
Yes, sir.
So if you create a Java program in Notepad, how to compile and run a Java program? We are
Sir, we
The
creating a
have to
Java
use
JavaScript.
program. So
Java C
step one,
command.
correct. Step one,
Java C file name dot Java.
create file as sample.java. At the step two. Step two is compiling with Java C space sample.java. Step three, running with Java space sample.
Sample.
So this is how you will be running your Java application, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is CLI based. But if you have Eclipse, then it is very simple. You will be having this run command, and when you run this, you can able to see the output instantly. The compilation, everything will be running in the background. You need not to type this Java C, Java every commands, right?
Yes, sir.
You understood now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let
Sir,
me come back here.
one doubt was
Yep.
there. When I was installing Node.js, it created some more applications. In my start menu, I could see that.
What are the applications?
Like, just a second. It created almost 17 more different command lines and commands.
What are they?
Actually, I did
Yeah.
that answer there. I can.
Can you share your screen and show that?
Actually, I deleted that actually.
If you tell those things, what are those actually, then I can able to help you, because they might be some supporting things. Maybe if I'm having this node, it will be installing this Node.js. It will be having the additional tools that would be helpful for any other further developments. So a lot of things are there, but just by assuming what you have, I cannot able to tell that, right?
Yes, sir.
Anyways, we'll look into that. Okay, so let me come back to the installation. So you have to copy this one, npm install -g Ionic Cordova. So this is how you're going to install your Ionic framework to your computer. Okay, so let me explain this. What do you mean by npm? npm is nothing but Node Package Manager. Node Package Manager. So whenever you are having an Android device and whenever you are trying to install an APK file directly in your Android device, there will be some application opened called as package installer. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, if you are running a project which is powered by Node.js, whether it can be an Angular project or it can be an Ionic project or it can be a React.js project. So if you are using Node.js, then Node.js will be providing a package installer or a package manager. Through that package manager only, you can able to install any plugins or anything. Okay, so whenever you are trying to install any Ionic plugin, so I can show here. See this npm install that particular plugin. So this Node.js is providing you that npm that package manager. Through that package manager, you can able to install whatever packages you want to install to your computer, which are powered by Node.js. You got it? And then after Node Package Manager, install what is -g? Any ideas?
So global.
Exactly. So what I'm going to install, that should be accessed globally into my system. For example, if I'm in D drive and I'm installing this command, it will work in F drive also. For example, if I'm going to create a new application, Ionic application in my F drive, then this will work. But if I'm not giving this -g, it will work only in that folder. It will not be accessible through other directories or other folders or other users. So that is why you are giving this -g. Got it? And then you are going to install Ionic and Cordova. So once your Ionic is installed in your machine, then you can able to create your project like this. Okay, so maybe I can run through these two commands. So with this, we can conclude for the day. So I'm installing my Ionic. It will take some 2 to 3 minutes at least. Sometimes if your network is slow, it may even take 5 minutes. So just wait for it.
Sir,
Okay,
but
so
since we are
yeah,
not specifying version, won't the latest version be automatically installed?
exactly.
So then you told us that we'll be studying Ionic 3 then. Won't that be a problem?
Then for that, I'm telling you, while you are creating the application, here you are mentioning type is equal to Ionic Angular. This refers to Ionic version 3. If you are not specifying this type, it will directly create a project which is working in the latest Ionic framework.
Yes, sir.
As you are specifying the type here, it will redirect you to version 3 only. So you don't need to worry about it. Okay. So I have a homework for you. Okay. So you guys are going to do some self-explanatory thing. Okay. First thing, are going to learn what is Angular. Just some overview. You can watch few videos, YouTube videos, kind of things. You don't need to be an expert in this. I just want you guys to be the beginner. Okay. So you are going to read few questions. What is Angular? What is component? What is directive? What is service? This module, and what is dependency injection? What is interpolation? And this package.json. Before that, what is JSON? Mm, and what is decorator? Yeah, I think these 10 basic questions you just read out in Google. If possible, make a Word document, get inputs from various websites, and just put in all these details in your Word document. That can be used as a reference. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
So meanwhile,
Yes,
this
sir.
Ionic is installed in my machine. See, Ionic version 5 got installed and Cordova version 10 got installed in my machine. Okay. So I'm already in my D drive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to the VIT folder. For that, I'm giving CD space VIT. I'm into my VIT folder now. Now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this here. So I'll tell you about this command. This Ionic keyword, which is going to tell you that I'm going to do some Ionic operation. Start. I'm going to start a new Ionic project. Okay. This hello world. What is this? The project name. You can give any project name. You can give your name. You can give any project name as you wish. This blank. This is the project structure. Okay. There are three types of project structure: blank, tabs, and side menu. Any ideas about these three things? If you have your Gmail, open your Gmail in your mobile, Gmail app in your mobile. That is a side menu application, right? You will be having an icon. Okay, so I can show you how a side menu would be. A side menu application will be typically look like this. It will be having an icon. While you click this icon, a menu will come. You got it?
Yes, sir.
So if you want a template like this, you can give side menu instead of this blank. And tabs is, if you take your WhatsApp, it is having three tabs, right? Chats, status, calls. Those kind of application are called as tabs application. You got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or you can give
Yes,
blank.
sir.
Blank means just one single screen will come. After that single screen, you can either customize your application to a tabs or blank or side menu or whatever. And we are giving hyphen hyphen type is equal to Ionic Angular. What do you mean by Ionic Angular is, as I told before, Angular has customized a few features for Ionic 3 version 3 alone. They have customized few features. Okay, so that means you need not to learn complete Angular. You can be a beginner of Angular and then you can use Ionic. So that is why it is termed as Ionic hyphen Angular. By giving this particular command, you can able to create your own project. So I am giving enter. That's it. Okay, so we just gave one command. It will take 3 minutes again to build your project. Okay, so that means the project structure, the invocation of libraries, everything will be happening.
So what if we want to uninstall this?
You want to uninstall Ionic instead of just give uninstall. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Wherever you have a word add, then you can use remove. Wherever you have a word install, you can use uninstall for doing the reverse operation. Right. So our project is now created. Now I'm going to open my Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'm opening my Visual Studio Code. The window will be like this. Give open folder here, or you can go to file and open folder. Go to the directory. You have your directory in D colon we this hello world. So once I select folder, I can able to see this folder called node modules. See how much libraries it is having. It will be having more than 1,000 libraries, but you don't need to bother about that. And you will be having a folder called SRC. Inside SRC, you will be having other folders, app and assets, pages and themes. You will be having lot of other folders, and you will be having lot of supporting files also. I'll be explaining all these supporting files in the tomorrow morning session. I'll just run this application. In this Visual Studio Code itself, you will be having the terminal. I'm clicking on this new terminal. So is the a dark view is good for you, or should I change the color?
It is good, sir.
No, sir, it's perfect.
It is good.
Okay. All right. Because most of the developers like me prefer dark color, especially boys. All right.
Yes, sir.
So for running your application, you have to give ionic space. Okay, ionic space serve space hyphen hyphen lab, or else a single hyphen L. Okay, note down this command for running ionic app, ionic space serve hyphen L. Okay, so it is given in this also. So there is a big difference between ionic serve and ionic serve L. I will be telling you that. If you give ionic serve alone, it will be displaying like a desktop application. And if you are giving like ionic serve hyphen L, L refers to lab actually. Okay, so I'm giving this. It will be asking you to install ionic lab now. For the first time alone, it will be asking you whether I should install ionic lab or not. So it is asking here, right? Install ionic lab. I'm giving Y and I'm giving enter. Y means yes. You can either type yes or simply Y. So once that is done, within next few seconds, your browser will be opening automatically and your browser will show the output. Exactly like this. Okay. The first device is an Android device and the second device is an iOS device. And if you want to see Windows, this is a Windows device. And that's it. We created our Ionic application. You can make any changes in the content and you can able to see that output immediately. Okay, maybe I can show you that. I will teach you how to do that in tomorrow's session. Don't get worried about this.
So,
Yes.
sir, can you recall this terminal part, what we had done here?
Sorry.
Sir, can you recall this terminal part, what we done in that terminal?
We just went to this terminal. We gave new terminal, and after giving new terminal, you just typed one command called ionic serve -l. That's it.
Okay,
Now your
sir.
application will be running in your browser. So I have changed some content. I'm
Sir,
just saving it. Yeah. Your voice is breaking,
sir,
man. I cannot.
it hasn't given name and type in H1. Name and type.
So yeah,
The class or type.
here given
Class
right.
name, sir.
What class or type? I cannot understand.
There is like this, no, H1 class is equal to colon and something name to identify that it is like that this one is this variable, this one is this variable. That later on, if we have to call on that, we will call with that name.
Yeah, your voice is highly breaking. I cannot able to hear. Is that breaking only for me or for everyone?
It's breaking
No,
only.
sorry.
I cannot clearly understand what you're trying to ask. Maybe so we'll discuss that. So I have made some changes here in the home.html. I have made some changes. Okay, so let's see the output immediately. Okay, so let's say I want to have this in. So I'm giving some internal styles, color, blue. Okay, I'm just giving this color blue. Instantly, I can able to see this blue color. Whatever changes, whatever HTML properties I want to give, I can able to give here. Okay, so you can able to get it displayed immediately. So maybe I can go for a V8 University logo. Okay.
Sir,
So I copied this image address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one image tag, and inside this src I have given this. And if you go to the output, you can able to get this. Okay, so you can able to do all these stuffs, all these cool stuffs hereafter very easily. So to stop your server, what you need to do, open your terminal, just give Control C and give yes. Okay. So as of now, you guys are clear.
So once, can you show the procedure of starting the server and closing it once again?
So for starting the server, you will be giving this command, and for stopping, you have to give Control plus C.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah. So what else?
Sir, in that command, what is the application of
Hey, one by one, one by one.
Sir, how
sir,
do
is
we
my voice coming now?
Yes, your voice is coming now. Please tell me.
Sir, I was saying that uh, class and ID was missing there, sir. So by which we identify there may be multiple H1 so that we can identify that H1 or H2 by its name or like that. It's like a variable.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just created one H1 for sample, but when we are doing it in a professional way, you are absolutely right. We have to go with this class and ID. Then only we can able to figure it out. You are right. But I just gave one example. So all these professional stuffs we will be starting from tomorrow morning only. So you don't worry about that.
Sir,
Yep.
sir, how will we navigate to a folder in command prompt? I'm unable to do it command in command center. Can you tell me how did you navigate it to VIT instead?
Just yeah, that is very simple. I can show you. Is my screen still visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm opening my command prompt again. So I'm in C colon. I want to go to D colon. So I'm giving D colon and enter. I moved on to D colon. Now I want to go to this VIT folder. I'm giving CD space VIT. I went under. Here I want to go to the hello world folder. I'm giving CD space H. If I'm typing tab, it will tell you what are the content inside. And from here I can give serve -l. From here also I can able to run my Ionic application. For the first time only, it will be asking you whether I should install Ionic Lab or not. From next time, it won't ask you. And your browser will be opening automatically and you can able to see the output like this.
Okay, sir.
And once you are done with your development, you want to stop means Control C and yes, that's it.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you show me what all did you do after opening Visual Studio Code?
The coding changes you are asking or
No, sir. From the what all did you do after installing npm
so
on the CMD?
yeah, those steps only I have done now.
No, sir. Actually, there is a Hello World folder and it contains a lot of files. So that's what I'm asking. Like, how
Yeah,
did that come?
those things are there in this link. So you need to install your Ionic, then you need to create your folder. You need to create your project. Just by giving this command, all those folders and files will be created automatically. I didn't create anything.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So try to learn these questions. Okay. So try to install Ionic in your machine. So you will be getting a lot of doubts, but don't worry. If you are stuck up at some point, just get help from your friends. If you cannot able to get help from your friend, then tomorrow morning we'll spend at least some back and we can get it resolved. Okay. All right. So let us stop here and we'll tomorrow. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for this informative and insightful session. I'm sure our audience has been heavily impacted by your knowledge and explanation.
Indeed, it was a great day overall with two very insightful sessions by Mr. Joel and Mr. Rajkumar K. Uh, we have come to an end of the day one of this two-day event, AI powered mobile application development.
But don't go anywhere and book your time for the second day of this wonderful event. We'll come back tomorrow with more enthusiasm and energy for our next sessions with our speakers. Do join in and experience the best of knowledge being delivered.
Thank you everyone for being such a patient audience and connecting with us. We hope to see you all tomorrow, resuming our final day of the two-day event. Till then, have a nice and prosperous day ahead. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.